as the cold wind howls through the trees and the shadows stretch long across the land, there exists a legend that preys on the deepest fears of the human soul. It whispers through the wilderness, feeding on desperation, hunger, and madness. The Wendigo, a creature of insatiable greed, of endless hunger, stalks the frozen forests, forever cursed to roam, hunting those who dare wander too far from the light. I'm Mr. Villain, and welcome to the Let Me Take You Higher podcast. Tonight, as part of our Urban Legends series, we descend into the darkness, into the heart of this ancient nightmare. Keep close and pray that the Wendigo doesn't hear you breathe.
Man, the Wendigo strikes with its frozen hand. Beware the Wendigo with hunger and cold. It devours the weak, the young and the old. A spirit of madness of flesh and bone. The Wendigo leaves you forever alone. In the heart of the woods, it waits in the frost. The Wendigo comes when all hope is lost. A monster of greed with hunger that grows. Its icy breath chills the blood that flows. Beware the Wendigo with hunger and cold. It devours the weak, the young and the old. A spirit of madness of flesh and bone. The Wendigo leaves you forever alone. It waits in the frost. The Wendigo comes when all hope is lost. A monster of greed with hunger that grows. Its icy breath chills the blood that flows. Beware the Wendigo with hunger and cold. It devours the weak, the young and the old. A spirit of madness of flesh and bone. The Wendigo leaves you forever alone. Its wicked gaze, a hunger that lasts for endless days. The Wendigo calls when you're all alone. It feasts on souls, it turns to stone. In the frozen dark, it whispers low. Beware the Wendigo when the cold winds blow. Beware the Wendigo with hunger and cold. It devours the weak, the young and the old. A spirit of madness of flesh and bone. The Wendigo leaves you forever alone. In the frozen dark, it whispers low. Beware the Wendigo when the cold winds blow. With hunger and cold, it devours the weak, the young and the old. A spirit of madness of flesh and bone. The Wendigo leaves you forever alone.
Deep in the frozen forests of North America, an ancient spirit roams, a creature of hunger, madness, and insatiable greed. The Wendigo is the embodiment of cannibalism and primal fear. Tonight, we explore this terrifying legend. We open with an overview of the Wendigo, a myth from Algonquin folklore that describes the malevolent, cannibalistic spirit associated with the cold and famine of winter. The Wendigo is often depicted as a skeletal figure with glowing eyes and an unending appetite for human flesh. A deep dive into the history of the Wendigo myth, exploring its origins among the indigenous tribes of the northern United States and Canada. We'll examine how the Wendigo became a symbol of both literal and metaphorical cannibalism, embodying greed and the dangers of turning against one's community in desperate times. We'll discuss key anthropologists and mythologists who have documented the Wendigo's myth, as well as notable cases of Wendigo psychosis, a condition described in early colonial records where individuals believed they were turning into the Wendigos. Could the Wendigo legend be an early moral warning about the dangers of isolation and hunger in harsh winter environments? We'll explore how the myth may have been used to explain acts of cannibalism during times of starvation. A long time ago, back in the early 1800s, there was a party of frontiersmen and their wives and their children. They embarked on new promised lands west of the Mississippi River. They called their party the Donner Party. And as legend has it, a fierce storm broke out that lasted weeks. And of course, they didn't bring enough food. So the Donner Party started thinking devilishly about their own community, their own family, their own comrades. The Donner Party began to eat each other. First, they ate the dead, and then, when people weren't dying fast enough, they just killed them and ate them. The Donner Party could have been the first legends of the Wendigo, but who would ever know, right? We explore the role of the Wendigo in modern horror, from films like Ravenous to TV series like Hannibal. We'll also touch on recent psychological studies into the Wendigo psychosis and how it ties into broader fields of humans, not nature's darker side. Reflecting on the Wendigo as a symbol of human greed and the collapse of social bonds. The Wendigo shows us the darkest possibilities when humanity is pushed to its limits.